December 1941. The U.S. had just entered the war, but Americans believed the vast ocean offered protection. They were wrong. The most devastating battle of World War II was about to arrive on their doorstep. This is the story of Operation Drumbeat, when Nazi U-boats silently infiltrated America's coast. Citizens in New York, Florida, and Texas were unaware that, just beneath the cold surface, Admiral Karl Donitz's wolf packs were ready to hunt. Their goal, sever the vital supply line to the Allies. This was the most effectively concealed attack in American history. This period was dubbed the second happy time by the U-boat commanders. The reason was simple. They had never found hunting so easy. They were not only facing merchant ships, but also the shockingly inadequate defense mounted by the U.S. Navy. The dim-out disaster. While European cities lived in darkness, American coastal cities glowed with light. Theaters, resorts, car headlights. They all turned the coastline into a perfectly illuminated shooting gallery for the German submarines. Countless warnings from Washington to impose blackouts were ignored. Local governments and citizens didn't believe the war could reach them. As a result, U-boats simply sat offshore comfortably, using the city lights as searchlights to guide their torpedoes. The attacks were so close to shore that people on land could hear the explosions and see the flames. Cape Hatteras, North Carolina, became Torpedo Alley, a graveyard of constantly sinking ships. The collapse of American shipping was a devastating blow, both mentally and logistically. The U.S. Navy's initial response was a catastrophe. America simply didn't have enough patrol vessels or effective anti-submarine tactics. They relied on small Coast Guard cutters and even hastily armed civilian fishing boats. The biggest failure was the refusal to adopt the convoy system. Despite Britain proving its effectiveness, the U.S. initially resisted, arguing it would slow down shipping. This was a deadly mistake that cost hundreds of lives. Even when a U-boat was spotted, U.S. vessels often lacked the means to destroy it. They had insufficient effective depth charges or modern sonar equipment. German captains openly mocked the incompetence of the American coastal defense. Donitz's wolf pack strategy was simple brilliance. Multiple U-boats would converge on a convoy at night, overwhelming the defenses with simultaneous attacks. The confusion was total. The German torpedoes were a technological marvel, but often unreliable early on. But when they did hit, the devastation was instant. The chilling accounts from survivors described the immediate terror, the icy water, and the knowledge that rescue might not arrive for days. Many sailors didn't die from the initial explosion, but from the brutal elements. The frigid Atlantic waters, massive oil slicks, and then the terrifying specter of sharks drawn by the carnage. The odds of survival were truly slim. Amidst the chaos, ordinary citizens became heroes. Volunteer sailors, members of the Civil Air Patrol, and simple fishermen armed their vessels and took to the seas, knowing they were desperately outmatched. The most moving stories belong to the merchant mariners. These were not career military men, but ordinary individuals keeping the supply lines open. They faced torpedoes again and again, knowing their next voyage might be their last. Coastal communities watching the wreckage wash ashore rallied together. They organized watches, helped rescue survivors, and applied local pressure until the government finally acted on the blackout orders. This was a grassroots war effort. The danger wasn't just offshore. In the summer of 1942, a U-boat secretly dropped off German spies near Long Island in Florida. Their mission, Operation Pastorius, to sabotage key American industries like aluminum plants and railroads. The turning point was painfully slow but inevitable. America finally adopted the British convoy system. Crucially, U.S. industry began mass-producing effective anti-submarine technologies, advanced sonar, and new powerful radar systems. America established specialized hunter-killer groups built around small escort carriers. The slow, clumsy U-boats were now facing relentless air and sea attacks. The happy time was over. Now it was a terrifying, claustrophobic death trap. By mid-1943, the U-boats were largely driven out of the Western Atlantic. The cost was staggering. Nearly 400 ships sunk and thousands of lives lost near American shores. It remains one of the greatest military intelligence failures of the U.S. in the war. The secret U-boat war is a chilling reminder that no nation is truly isolated. It forced the U.S. to mobilize its industry and intelligence faster than anything else. The lessons learned in that bitter defeat defined America's naval superiority for decades to come. That's the story of the secret U-boat war, a chilling chapter in history that reshaped America's naval power. If you found this video interesting, don't forget to like, leave a comment, and share your thoughts. Your feedback helps me create more videos every day for you to watch and enjoy. Thanks for watching.